Hello, we're here with the magnificent Antoine Aarts from Nederland.ai. How are you?
I'm fine. It's busy today, as you saw. End of the day, but still fine.
Exactly.
Lots of cloudy, so nice. Yep.
Always cloudy.
Yes.
So this is an amazing project that you have going on here. You have a kind of a different approach.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah. What we see today is that a lot of AI solutions are out there. So it's very difficult to find the right solution. So what we think about was that we built a social network where you can combine all those AI solutions for the end user. For instance, if you are a painter or if you're an electricity company, then you can find very easily in Holland your suitable AI solution. So it's a social based, free of charge network.
So I know this network is sponsored or backed by the Netherlands government?
Yes, as well, and there are also some particular people who would like to invest a little bit in it, because the big thing today with AI is as well that older people need to have support as well to understand it. So also other social environments want to invest in this initiative.
So from what I can understand, there is some sort of support of which AI is being used, how to use it, and from what you told me before, there is some kind of vetting from you guys. Is that correct?
Yeah, so that means that indeed, so training for older people, training for younger people, acceptance of AI. Maybe people know at home that the AI Act is coming up, so also security. A lot of times it's your own data what is being used for AI, and all this kind of things we want to make kind of public and inform the people what to do or not to do, so that they accept AI as a solution and make it acceptable.
How does it work in terms of the apps that you have there, the AI apps? Are they using their own LLMs, large language models? Is it different companies that you guys are bringing together?
It's different companies, ourselves, because we want to be objective, we want to be honest. That means we do not develop ourselves any apps, but what we do is do a lot of research on AI apps. So what you see in our platform is that we give advice, combine, control, make competitors clear, so that the end user get objective advice what to do, and it's of course up to the end user what to do with it.
So let's go back a little bit in our conversation. We were talking about the role of governments in helping these AIs into fruition. What do you think about that?
I think that's a good thing, because do not underestimate the support base. I mean, you can imagine if you are a little bit older or you are completely disinterested in computers and suddenly there are robots taking your job. Yeah, you want to know what to do. For instance, very young people, education. You can imagine that the telephone takes 80 years before you got 50 million users. Today, AI, it's a matter of days. So the acceptance and the speed, how people accept, and the support base of all this, what education that you want to do, is very important. So that's why we want to have this initiative to make public and that people start understanding there is some change going on right now.
How do you feel about this job displacement issue that AI is going to bring? How do you see it playing in your app here? Is there something
that's a real threat. You can imagine if you today and 10 years from now there is suddenly the self-steering car, you're jobless. What to do? If you make people...
And it's across the board, all over.
Yeah, you have so many things in hospitality, in care, everywhere. So if you make people, and that's why the government is so interested, of course, if you make people today aware that those things happens in, let's say, 10, maybe 15 years, then it's better to know today and to adjust on that for your study, for your acceptance, etc. Early today, I told there came people to here, and I told them I started in IT in 1984. Can you imagine that in 1985, when I said back then, well, 10 years from now, you can email the world. In 1985, 10 years later, it was happening. So can you imagine that developments go 2 times faster? What is happening in 10 years from now, in 33?
It's the rate of acceleration with AI is going through the roof.
That's why it's so important to be aware today of those, but also to set regulations, so that humans keep in control. Is this what we want? Do we want a self-steering car if it makes people jobless? Those those kind of discussions you can, for instance, do on Nederland.ai, because you need to talk about it. If you don't talk about it, and it happens suddenly, a lot of people come in the resistance.
Shock, yes.
Yes.
So in Netherlands, you are the big guy in Netherlands, so you know the industry. How do you think AI is going to evolve in terms of the apps, in terms of the technology, or in terms of the usage, how people are going to use it? How do you see it going into 2024?
I think that first of all we get the European laws, because in 2025 you have a lot of things. That means the Data Act, it means the AI Act, and it means Resilience Act. So those developments make regulation about how you use AI. For instance, if you have a heating system at home, nobody is aware of it, but you have those electric AI solutions, they send data. That's not allowed anymore. So I think that the developments will be...
We're talking in the European Union, right?
Yeah, in the European Union.
You're talking about regulation, so you're talking about the regulation in Europe.
Yeah, so what you see today is that there is from the European integration, that's called AI Act, Data Act and Resilience Act. That means that companies and users are having borders how to use AI and what they are allowed to use. For instance, if you're at home you have a heating system, collecting data out of your heating system, that's not allowed anymore to do it automatically. So I think this regulation is a very good thing, because it makes humans in control. And if you have humans in control, you can make decisions. Do we want jobless jobs for AI? And that's a political discussion, of course, yes. And I'm not a political guy. But
that brings me to another question, which is those regulations are going to be implemented. Where's the great LLM for Europe? Because we have the ChatGPT in the United States.
Yeah, that's a very good question. That's a very good question, which for me is also almost not to answer, because you saw that with Facebook, you saw that with Google, you saw that with all the big firms in the world, Apple. They have basically no regulations. They become so big, but make us dependent. If we do the same with AI, we might lose our competitor situation, with, for instance, the self-steering cars. And that's a very, very difficult global issue. And I can help you with a lot of AI, but I'm not the guy for political discussions.
Where do you see this industry going? Where do you see like the big changes in 2024? If you had to pinpoint a big difference, where will you see it?
The big difference will be in healthcare, because there is a big shortage in this world, so a lot of people will easily accept. You can imagine if you go to a doctor, there's one guy or girl or doctor, they say, hey, your knee is good or not good. With AI, you have basically hundreds of doctors who do something. You see the combination with robot. So I think in the care, people becoming older, there's a lot of developments going on, I think, in the AI. I foresee there are a lot of things. And I think in the repeating business, like for instance, advice at a bank, entering data, this kind of things will be a lot of automatic. And maybe I'm not allowed to say that, but I think at schools, when you're a student, why you make your own piece of work, why you cannot go to ChatGPT as a student and say, make for me this piece of work.
A lot is going to change.
Yeah.
So Antoine, you're absolutely a great entrepreneur, I can see that. Give us a great advice for young entrepreneurs.
A good advice. So that's not that easy, but I think to the young people I will say, keep an open mind with AI, because I know if you go to school, you're happy to end your school at some point, because they say, oh, finally, study is done, I go to work. But keep adjusting, because it goes fast. It goes really fast. And just keep on up to date. That's, I think, the best advice that you can give to actually everybody.
Exactly. How can people find Nederland.ai? Go to the website?
Go to the website and enter Nederland.ai.
Exactly.
And find there. And next year, most probably, as we're going back here, most probably, but that's a secret still, but still we have an upscale name for more global approach. So this is the first step. Yeah. And next year, I promise the people here in Portugal as well, that we have amazing tools also, because one of my favorite countries here in Portugal.
It's a pre-release.
It's a pre-release. Thank you.
Thank you very much.